And now we're going to be putting in my M120 spring into there. This is different than the regular M4s gearboxes just because they have the whole top rail up here that has the screws in it. So the differences, I will show you the differences basically, because I'm not going to do the whole gearbox because it should be. So you can tell it already has metal bushings. Okay, to start out, for the blowback, there's a tiny little pin that rests on this piston. Take that off. You slide the bolt. This is aluminum, so it is very flexible. You want to be careful not to bend it too out of proportion, otherwise when you go to put it back on, it's not going to work right. Anyway, you got to slide it all the way back, and it has these little you can't really see it, you can kind of see it, it's like a J-hook basically, and you just slide it up, push up on it, and then it should pull out. Okay, so that is the removal of the fake bolt. After you take this little piece off of here, slides off. It was really hard, so next you're going to take this and you're going to push this nylon fiber piece forward. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. And this is just the plate where the dummy bolt rides. This is like the guide for it. Get my super grease removal tool. Next, should slide straight up, and here is your piston. Basically the air goes in there, and that's what pushes this back. And don't forget, there is a seal here, so it goes down inside. So let's see if it doesn't remove. Okay, it doesn't, so just be aware of that later on. But that is how you take apart the Matic blowback system. Next, remove these screws. They are hex screws for mine, and of course, you know, G&G, sorry. Of course, I already showed you the metal bushings, and of course they're reinforced, and then this is what releases the anti-reversal latch. So go ahead and remove those. Alright, just to show you how impressed I am, metal spring guide. Let's see, what else? Also be aware of any shims. Of course you should know that. This is the anti-reversal latch. Basically from the outside it pushes forward and then it pushes down on it. Pushes down on this top part. So it's basically just the anti-reversal latch with an extra little thing coming off of it. Let's see, let's go ahead and take the spring all the way out. Okay, this is variable variable. I can't even speak today. It's varied pitch spring. There we go. As you can see, it's easier on the piston basically when you're coming back. Okay. It's a long type piston, and that is your piston head. It is plastic, or like that nylon fiber, basically the same plastic that's made out of the pistol grip. But this is why you want to get all the grease out and re-grease it. It's just loaded with grease. Okay. Heavy duty tappet plate spring. Others, I know that they have like a little lobe there. This just has a little piece sticking up. Okay, that's the inside of your gearbox. One thing I need to point out, your cylinder head, when you take it out, or I'm sorry, when you put it back in, it has to be like this, because that hole has to be on top. Okay, because that was what goes to your pneumatic blowback. So it has to be like that because the tappet plate comes down through that hole. Okay, so I just had to point that out. Okay, I got my M120 spring in. I put it fully together just because I know it's gonna work. This is just to show you. You went from this spring. This spring is kind of easy to compress. This one is a lot stiffer. So basically this is just going to show you, let's see if it works, and then what it does to the rate of fire. As you can tell, you can really, yep, you got to make sure it's cycling all the way through. And then full auto. So I mean, it still has a pretty decent rate of fire. Every once in a while this will happen and you gotta release the tension on the spring. Not sure why it does that, but it doesn't cycle anywhere near as fast, and of course then you gotta release tension on the spring. But yeah, let's do the poor man's chrono, and that way you can visually see what this is about.